Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Bucks with the Technical Trader at techtrader.com. It's, let's see, Tuesday the 29th of January. These are the charts of the day. Well, a mixed session on Wall Street, but a lot of stocks we follow continue to thrust. Gold came to the forefront. Marijuana got smacked. So you never know what's going to pop up any day for trading. But let's go over some gold stocks just to give you a flair for some of them and what they're looking like. If you look at the long-term chart on Agnico Eagle, one of the main players in gold, big gold miner, 55, 59 was the high. It pulled all the way down to 33 over a period of a couple of years. This is a daily chart. And then plunged to a level we haven't seen since 2016, that 3-year low. But recently, base, breakout, wedge, and now 4 days in a row up. It looked like it's going to be headed towards 45, 48, maybe 51 eventually. But let's go 45 and 48 on a swing trade. Some more golds to take a look at. First of all, Royal Gold broke out of its pattern. Falling wedge broke a couple days ago. The flag broke today. All you need to do is get this one over 86 3/4, looking at 91, 98, 103, etc. Now, just to give you a flair for some of the ETFs, the GDXJ, which is the Junior Gold Miner Exchange Traded Fund, has broken its declining tops line and through lateral resistance. Take out the recent high. This one may very well make a run towards the 34.5 range. Eventually, you might see it run up towards 38. So let's call it 34.5 and 38, our targets going forward, if in fact gold is ready to make the big move that I think it might be. Plenty of other gold stocks to look at. We're going to pass on that for right now. There's other stocks. I do want to show you the ETFs, Nugget and JNUG, both of which were up about 6-7% today, both of which came through their January highs. And this is now the highest level since it plunged in August. I think we're going to make a run on the JNUG up around near 12 and then 14. And the Nugget, some resistance up here at about 21, maybe tested shortly, I should say. And then I'd be looking up around 27 in this zone where there's some additional resistance up there, maybe even 28. So gold is on the move, and it's broken its declining tops line. You may see some movement here. CATS had a nice pop today. We featured it yesterday. Today broke out and finished with a gain of 5%. I'm looking for a run to 14. If we get through that, we're looking at 20. This could be interesting. CRNT was put out as a swing when it broke through not only the declining tops line, but followed through with a takeout of the January highs. I'm now looking for something in a 4 3/4, 5 zone. And then I'm looking for 5 3/4, 6 1/4 up in that area. Eventually, $7 is the target. This is a new swing. Biotech Epizyme exploded last month, or should I say earlier this month, having gone from about 5 to 10 and a change. It then settled into a coil on very low volume. Perfect pattern, folks, quite frankly. Moving averages crossing over. This is my favorite pattern. A measured move now tells me that from 5 to about 1047, that gives me about 5.5, 5 1/4 points from here. That gives me about 14 as a target. That's right there. So I'm looking for 14 on my next target up. Once it does break out, you may want to wait for that to happen, but today it was up 51 cents and might be moving out as early as tomorrow morning. Bit of resistance up there about 1065, but then I'm looking for 12 and 14. GLW with a pop out of a large wedge pattern. You can see the long-term chart's been pretty fantastic over the last couple of years, the last 5 years. Holding the trend line. Created a wedge recently, broke out today with a breakaway gap above the declining tops line and the 50-day moving average up towards resistance here near 34. If it gets through this or it consolidates and then gets through it, 37, and then top of the channel target comes in around 40. So 36.5, 7, and 40 are your targets for Corning. Here's a stock I haven't mentioned to you. It's called Hunami, I think Chinese, but I'm hearing some real strong stuff on it from one of my institutional clients who did his research, and he thinks this is the stock is going back to 15. Take a look at the chart. A little bit of resistance here at about 1188, but it's a nice base forming, and the stock is ramping up today, jumping 50 cents or 4.5% on almost 400,000. I'm looking for this stock to get through the $12 range and run up to about 15. HYRE. Wow. Well, the 1, 2, 3, 4 wave moved. The pop out on Friday, then the pullback yesterday, but today right back up again and then the pullback. I think the stock's headed for 5.5, 6.5, and 7 3/4, 8 up there eventually. This is wave 1, 2, 3, and 4. The fifth wave's underway. It may last a bit. Another week or so, we may see 6.5, 3/4. OCX with a monster day, a mere 45 million shares traded on a stock that doesn't trade. Big drug news today. The major declining topsline was blown through with a monster gap, taking out the July high and testing the highs from a year ago when it reached 645. Today's high 692. And beyond that, you have the September 2017 highs at 764. And another double top there at 785 and 795. So something in that 785.95 would be a logical target initially. If we can get through that, we may see 10, 10.5, something like that. So this is something to keep a close tab on because that kind of a thrust on that kind of a volume with that kind of gap is meaningful. SSYS, love this company. It's a really quality company in the 3D printing industry. It's a leader. And matter of fact, at one time, check this out. Many moons ago, the stock ramped from under 8 into the 150 range. Got hammered back, formed a multi-year base. This is what I'm looking at. If this comes out above this base pattern here, this could be a long-term move beginning. I'm going to need to see better volume and technicals. And I'd like to see a pullback entry opportunity. But I think that SSYS, once it gets to 25 3/4, is headed for 28, 30, 31 zone and more. VYGR, another explosive move on monster volume for this stock. 6.5 million shares is unheard of. It's the biggest volume ever traded I can see since it went public. After a big decline that saw this stock drop from August high around 22 all the way down to 7 and change. It looks like the declining channel was busted today with a monster move. Now, it did back off to 50, but it closed towards the upper end of the range. A nice 267 gain or 31% on 6.2 million cannot be sneezed at, or poo-pooed, I should say. Here's my targets. 15 3/4. And then I think you're headed towards possibly low 20s, but we'll keep an eye on this one. I may put a swing on it if I like what I see following through. That also goes for what? Big declining channel. You remember a year ago, December, when the stock came out with some kind of FDA approval on their remote charging, jumping from 842 to 24 in one day, next day jumping up to 33.50 before a long, year-long decline set in. And saw this stock go all the way down to, believe it or not, under 5. Now, it exploded here on positive news and pulled back, forming a big wedge. Today it jumped about 10 cents, that's it, at the net bottom line. But I'm convinced that this stock has explosive potential. And I'm looking for a pop out of this wedge and across the 50. Now, watch this one carefully tomorrow. If it gets to 8:15.20, it could take off. If it takes out 8:55, I think you're going to head at 10, 11, and 13 or more. I hear positive things may be occurring there. Xerox had a great day today. Look at the move it's had off this low when it imploded to 18.5. Here it is, 27. Now today was a big spike up of 253 or 10.3% on 13 million shares. And there is a resistance here along with the 29 1/4 range. I think we get through this zone eventually and move up into a higher level. I'm looking for Xerox to make a run at the low 30s if it gets to 29. Those are my targets, 29, 32. And finally, Zixi, been very impressive this year. And over the last 9, 10 years, you can see the stock has been steadily moving up in waves, each wave with higher highs and higher lows. Recently, after popping and consolidating, the market brought it down. It dropped dramatically and reversed. Then added one of these reversal days there. And then from that point, it's been up for 5 days in a row. It appears after the recent merger, that Wall Street is liking this a lot. Now there's resistance right up here around 7.5. We can get through that. We might see 9, 10.5 and more. On an intermediate to longer term basis, I would look for something around 10, as I said. But the longer term target for me is going to be a retest all the way up here in the high teens, around 18. We'll see if it gets that acceleration, but right now it looks pretty good and I put a swing on it. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening.